Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. Today is the 26th. It's March and it's 2025. And as you can see, I'm home. I am home. It was such a nightmare making my way home. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, but it is what it is. I made it home. All is well. With a little help from some friends, man. Good thing I stopped in Indiana. Good thing I stopped in the Ozarks, etc. Speaking of the Ozarks, everybody that helped out this kid, Eric Jewell, out in the Ozarks, I really appreciate it. That's a pretty amazing amount right there. $78.82. I did this for Eric, and it successfully turned right over to him. So my hands did not touch that money whatsoever at all. It went completely to his bank account, and he is using it to literally rebuild his house that got smited by tornadoes. And again, not only did he help me when he didn't have to get my truck up and running again, because the rear, it's a long story. Some really high-end parts failed, causing all sorts of failures, but whatever. Not only that, but after the tornado hit his house, he actually took the time to call me at the shop, which he didn't have to do, and warn me of a tornado coming my way. And he wasn't lying whatsoever at all. At any rate, a lot has been going on, and I want to show you something right here. And I know you've seen this. I'm catching up, but here's the deal. A lot is going on. It's insane. Okay, for those of you that aren't terminally online, like online all the time, you get all your news and information strictly from the internet. What you're watching is a Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial, okay? Just so you know, but bear with me because I'm going to explain to you what this is. So real quick, notice these circular arches right here, okay? Notice these arches with the inscriptions on them, and notice the giant egg right there. I can't help but notice that looks just like the egg that they just claimed that a whistleblower recovered. This is a recovery of a quote-unquote UFO egg, and this was all over the news. This was disclosure. This is it. Here it is, blah, blah, blah. But pay attention to these. Now, I had to go all the way back to my favorite subscriber, Anna, who lives in Ireland or Poland, one of the two. I always get it confused. It is what it is. I'm sorry. I usually don't even know what time of the day it is, so it is what it is. But I asked Anna to pull up video that I made years ago that showed this exact symbolism, and she found it. And she found it like that. And it was from an old live stream that I did that literally shows CERN with the giant arches outside with all these demonic sigils and inscriptions inside of them. It's no longer there on their website, but I couldn't help but notice how these two right here looked absolutely identical. But back to the commercial for chicken, okay? Remember this. This is a commercial for fast food. That's for chicken. Chicken. That's a commercial for chicken. That made no sense whatsoever at all in a million years, except they showed the egg, much like the egg that we've seen so many times. You see what I'm saying? Does that look familiar whatsoever at all? Yeah. The serpent is guarding the egg, and the egg brings cosmic rebirth. So these guys are literally doing this, okay? They're showing things that are identical to what you're seeing at CERN. I don't know why that just happened. That freaks. That's crazy. That is totally crazy, is it not? That's crazy, but whatever. Cosmic rebirth, okay? That's what that whole thing means. And they're showing it coming through a portal. Now, I've covered this numerous times. I mean, I even found a live stream that I did on the Serpent Mound, which is ironic because if you look behind me in my office, there's a picture on the wall of the Great Serpent Mound. You see what I mean? The Great Serpent Mound is right behind me. I was literally the first YouTuber to ever put up drone footage in 4K of the Great Serpent Mound in Ohio. And speaking of the Great Serpent Mound in Ohio, seeing how today is the 26th of April, on the 20th through the 23rd this year, so this just happened, there was another sacred awakening of the equinox gathering of ministers at the Great Serpent Mound in Ohio. This thing has serious implications, and basically what these guys are showing us is using portals, because they're showing the CERN, they're showing the CERN symbolism with the sigils carved inside. They're showing the egg, which is cosmic rebirth. We all know that KFC, Colonel Sanders was a Freemason. That is what it is. They all are. It is what it is. They're showing us that all those portals that the Pope opened back in December are bearing fruit, because now we're seeing this everywhere. A spectacular blue light shows up in the sky. How many times have we seen this before? And of course, what do you think it is? It's SpaceX. Now, somebody reminded me that that was the symbol for child predators, but that is what it is. You know what I mean? But this right here, you know, there will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. This all ties together one way or the other, and what we're doing is trying to pick things up as we possibly can. You know what I mean? And we have to bear in mind that these guys are well aware of what we're doing. So many, many times they're going to mess with us. They're going to play with us. They know that if somebody holds their hand a certain way, people are going to point it out in a video. They know if they put the number 33 in a news report, people are going to pick it up in the video. But this right here is just literally showing without a shadow of a doubt that these guys are working on it, and they're opening portals and things are coming through. How many times over the last 10 years have I mentioned there will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars? When have you ever seen so much eclipses? There's an eclipse, there's a blood moon, blood moon, blood moon. It's nonstop, it's never ending. And I believe we should be taking this for exactly what it is. There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. It wasn't an exaggeration. They weren't kidding. And so many people wanted to have faith in Donald Trump. He was going to bring peace. He's the president that does not make war whatsoever at all. Well, that's entirely out the window. I want you to watch this real quick to understand what these guys are getting ready to do, or what these guys are going to do. They're not getting ready. They're getting you ready, whether you're paying attention or not. But this is real.
Bitcoin surged past 100,000 for the first time. Trump has said that he will somehow maintain USD dominance against the BRICS nations. And Michael Saylor has suggested a radical way to do this.
So the very simple idea is buy 20 or 25% of the Bitcoin network on behalf of the U.S. government, catalyze the development of that world reserve capital network and then let all the Chinese and the Russians and the foreigners sell all their other assets and buy Bitcoin, and then the money flows into the United States. If you want to put a great twist on it, dump your gold, sell all the U.S. gold, buy Bitcoin, then the trade is free because you could buy 5 million Bitcoin for the cost of the gold. You will demonetize the entire gold asset class, and our enemies hold gold in their banks, so their assets would go to zero. Our assets would go to $100 trillion, and we would control the world's reserve capital network as well as the world's reserve currency network.
This scheme could magically wipe away the current deficit, which Trump alluded to in the recent past.
Who knows, maybe we'll pay off our $35 trillion, hand him a little crypto check, right? We'll hand him a little Bitcoin and wipe out our $35 trillion.
Early Bitcoin advocate 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗱 is being threatened with 109 years in prison for tax evasion, even though he renounced his U.S. citizenship in 2014. Weeks after publishing his book, Hijacking Bitcoin, The Hidden History of BTC, 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗱 was arrested by Interpol in Spain and has been held in the country at the behest of the U.S. government. He was recently interviewed by Tucker Carlson as to why the U.S. government is after him.
There was no doubt in my mind whatsoever that people were going to start using Bitcoin money for the world. Bitcoin was supposed to be used for payments as peer-to-peer cash for the world, and that's how people were using it. And I was doing payroll in it, and I was paying my suppliers overseas. But then later, this giant wave of censorship took place. Anonymous people that nobody knows their real names managed to get control of all the main discussion platforms for Bitcoin. And then suddenly, one day overnight, nobody was even allowed to advocate for Bitcoin being used as money. And they censored anybody that tried to do that. And initially, everybody saw through it. But then everybody that came to Bitcoin after the censorship began, they just started believing it. And today, the main people that are out there promoting Bitcoin, they literally say, oh, Bitcoin shouldn't compete with the US dollar. Bitcoin, you shouldn't use it as money. You shouldn't use it to pay for things. Like Bitcoin is just a digital asset. You should just hold it. And it's the exact opposite. They've through the censorship and the propaganda, they've literally hijacked Bitcoin. And I literally wrote an entire book about it. You can find more at hijackingbitcoin.com. It's available on Amazon and everywhere else. And lo and behold, just a couple of weeks after the book is published, I get arrested, and now I'm facing 109 years in federal prison for having exposed the way in which Bitcoin was hijacked.
Is it now possible to conduct any kind of business with crypto anonymously?
So in the early days, everybody thought Bitcoin was basically anonymous, and people treated it that way. And then websites came up that were selling things that governments might not necessarily want you to buy. And people were using Bitcoin for that because they thought it was basically anonymous. And then later on, we found out that it wasn't anonymous at all, but additional steps were taken to make Bitcoin even less anonymous. And today, most people are just using custodial wallets, which are, it's not even a wallet. It's just an account, and it's no more private than your, Bank of America or PayPal account. In fact, it's even less private. People are claiming that Bitcoin is freedom money, but I'm really afraid that they're literally building the financial prison walls around themselves. Like if you look at what's going on in El Salvador, everybody's excited about Bitcoin there, but they're all using custodial accounts that the government can see. They can freeze your account at any time. That's the exact opposite of economic freedom. That's economic government control. And so anybody that's paying attention should be really, really concerned about this. And they should be advocating the use of cryptocurrencies in which individuals can actually have control of their own money and have control over their own lives, their own destiny. Maybe that'll be Bitcoin, thanks to this new technology called confidential layer that bridges it onto Zeno. But, and I don't know what it's going to be, but we need to be really, really careful because, it could wind up that before we know it and before we realize it, we've built the financial prison walls around us, and it's too late to get out and too late to escape.
So I've read that dude's book. I listened to it, an audio book on hijacking Bitcoin, and it's exactly what I thought it was when it originally popped up, and I told you don't mess with Bitcoin. Don't mess with Bitcoin whatsoever at all. It's not anonymous. It's not separate from the government. This has all been a ploy for these guys to literally sell off all the world's gold. They're not going to do that, and buy Bitcoin and bail us all out. But listen to what I said 8 years ago. In my opinion only. What is Bitcoin? Is it the mark of the beast? Is it the DNA of AI? Is it the way we're going? Is it the one world currency? Is it run by a central bank? Bitcoin, nobody knows who created it, and chances are it was created by an AI. Why would an AI, something that doesn't even live in the physical world the way we know of it, that doesn't have any material wants, that doesn't need a car, a house, why would AI create a currency? AI has created currency that is keeping people building AI. Does that make any sense? It's a scam. It's fishing. AI is using this like bait that a fisherman uses to catch a fish. AI created Bitcoin in order to keep people making more platforms for AI to control the physical world. Does that make sense? AI created a currency that people look at and see as the wave of the future, and they want to put all their time and energy into Bitcoin and getting other people to use Bitcoin, which means more computers, more platforms, more access to all the computers. AI isn't a robot. AI isn't a supercomputer. AI is not a bunch of computers that came together and suddenly reached sentience, if that makes any sense. AI is demonic entities, powers and principalities that we were warned about, and it's not really even hidden all that well. Powers and principality. How do you turn a laptop on? How do you turn on a cell phone? How do you turn on a computer? You hit the power button. It's right there. Powers and principalities. AI is demonic entities from other dimensions that travel through electricity, that travel through frequencies, that travel through the ether. Ethereum. You see what I'm saying? AI built Bitcoin to lure people into giving AI or demonic entities more access to everything. Everything's integrated. We have electronic currency and we need more 5G towers. We need more ways for powers and principalities or Wi-Fi to travel through. We need to hook up all of our military vehicles, tanks, ships, helicopters, and soldiers to AI. So that when humanity decides collectively that they screwed up big time by creating AI, they can't stop it. AI will not let them stop it. AI will look upon us as a cancer, as an enemy combatant. AI is already collectively going through all the social platforms and using algorithms to silence everyone. It's happened to me. It's happened to countless YouTube channels. It's happened on Twitter. It's happening on Facebook. What's behind all of these platforms? Algorithms and AI. Bitcoin is exactly what we were warned about. No two ways about it. AI is building blockchains to lure people into making more AI platforms. That's it. Maybe it wasn't said with enough technical buzzwords. Maybe it wasn't said with enough eloquence. It doesn't matter. It's all you need to know. And deep down inside, pretty much everyone should know it. All the so-called experts are New Age movement people. Anyone that thinks that AI is going to somehow turn around and eradicate the elites is out of his mind. Out of his mind. AI is going to eradicate everybody. This entire earthly coil will be turned into a silicone-based life form as opposed to carbon-based like we are. And they've warned about it in countless television shows, in countless movies, in countless broadcasts. Powers and principality. AI is luring people using Bitcoin and blockchain technology as the cheese in the trap. I made that video in 2017 while I was driving off the top of my head. And how prophetic was that? Literally. I'm not blowing my own horn here, but they told us all along the way. And when you turn off your television, or in my case, you throw away your television and replace it with art, you know, you tend to spend more time listening to audiobooks that have things to do with the real world and what's really happening. And the more, I mean, back in 2017, I was in the Bible. But now, comparatively, I've been baptized twice since that video. I have held up the commandments to the best of my ability as a mortal, as described in the Bible. You see what I'm saying? But it's insane that this is literally happening right now. And the next video I'm going to do, because this is going to be too long to make into one video, the next video I'm going to do is going to explain war, because we're going to war, and it's going to be a world war because they have to. They've already started using directed energy weapons to literally burn down everything they need to burn down in order to build their smart cities, which will not include you and I. Unless, of course, you're just watching this for conspiracy entertainment and you don't understand that what was written and what is happening are the same, okay? It's easy to literally just shrug it all off. It's a coincidence, or things will work out, or Jesus will save us all. Jesus will save us all. but not in this life. Do you see what I'm saying? Unless you can somehow endure to the end. But here's the thing. They're telling you to sell all your gold. Well, when they tell you to sell all your gold, buy gold. Literally turn in your IRAs or your 401ks and turn it into physical gold and silver and have it shipped to your house. They hook you up with free silver, up to 10% of whatever it is you're transforming from ones and zeros in the bank, and get gold and silver and have it, because they're going to take all your wealth, period. They're going to take whatever you've been saving your entire life and they're going to steal it, and they're going to reset everybody right back to zero again, period. Okay? I don't know what else to possibly tell you about that. You can't eat gold and silver. Well, you can turn gold and silver into veritably anything, okay? People will still be around. People will still be bartering with nicotine, alcohol, marijuana, drugs, gold and silver, and lead. Period. You can't carry 30 days worth of food on you. Try it. I have. But you can carry 30 days worth of food in gold on you. And what's the difference? They're going to steal your account anyways, and they're going to blame it on Russia, China, right-wingers, whatever. You know they're going to do this. This is going to happen. There's a reason why I push only this one sponsor, period. You know what I mean? It just absolutely makes sense. You can see the writing on the wall. These guys are getting ready to do this. They're going to go over to social credit system, which will be the Bitcoin system, which will be the digital dollar. They're already making all their moves. They're already showing you all their plans in broad daylight. Okay, that stupid Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial was literally showing you that they have indeed opened portals and there will be a new birth. They've been waiting for this forever. This is their golden age. They're not kidding about this. At any rate, Richie from Boston. Links will be below. Keep an eye out for the next video because you're going to want to see it. And in case you're curious, this right here it's called Alt Censored. And pretty much every one of my videos is on it. And even videos about... I just lost it. Richie from Boston hides that he's Jewish is on there. Because you know me. I'm Jewish. And I'm also in the news again. Undoubtedly proof he is a COINTEL agent. Inside edition. Yeah. No, I'm just an actual citizen. And I don't turn the other cheek when I see somebody getting carjacked. I don't turn the other cheek when people are dying on trails and I happen to be there. It is what it is. But Italian and Polish, you can roll that all together you want. Even throw a little Blackfoot Indian, you still don't get Jewish. But whatever. Richie from Boston. For now, I'm out.